Well, the Champions Dinner is come and gone. The par 3 tournament set to tee off Wednesday morning, the 87th Masters, ready to roll. Russ Taylor joined by CBS Sports golf writer and host of the First Cut podcast, Kyle Porter, who joins us from his hotel room in Augusta, Georgia. And Kyle, we're going to talk about betting favorites in this segment. But the favorite of favorites is, of course, Tiger Woods. He's plus 8,000 to become the oldest Masters champion in history. I don't think anyone actually expects Tiger to win this thing. But what form of Tiger Woods do you expect to see out there at Augusta National this week?
Well, it's interesting. I was in his press conference today, Russ, and he was talking about how, his swing and the way he's like his golf swing is feeling is probably better than last year when he made the cut. And he played pretty decently in the first couple of rounds last year and then shot 78 on the weekend. The problem is that his body is probably not feeling quite as well. There's more aches and pains. There's more soreness. Rory McIlroy had his press conference today and said, listen, if Tiger could walk properly, he'd be one of the favorites this week. And that's, he meant that as a positive. Tiger's swing's really good. He's playing good golf. Mentally, he's in, I think, a good place, especially at a place like Augusta National that he is a genius at, that he knows so well. But man, that said a lot, and Tiger agreed with it about just physically where his body is at. So I don't expect a ton out of Tiger. I think he can make the cut. I think he can finish in the top 30, top 40, kind of around what he did last year, just because physically, he made the cut at Riviera earlier this year. It's just the problem is literally walking 300 yards to his ball and then doing it again for the next shot.
Yeah, and Augusta National, a notoriously undulating golf course with a lot of elevation changes, can't be easy on the body. Scottie Scheffler, your defending champ, world number 1. Not the betting favorite. That would be Jon Rahm, who's yet to win a green jacket. Rahm, untouchable, though, for a while at the start of this season. What kind of form is he bringing to Augusta this week?
Well, he's had a weird year, Russ. It's a little bit like Dustin Johnson back in 2017 when DJ won everything he looked at and then kind of fell off after the first 3 months of the year. I don't know that that's exactly what's happening with Jon Rahm right now, but he won, I think it was 5 of 8 starts at some point in February, and then his last few have been not that great. He withdrew from the Players Championship. The week before that, at the Arnold Palmer, he didn't play that well. He was up and down, I would say, at the match play. He got smoked by Billy Horschel in his 3rd match. So I don't come into the Masters with the kind of confidence I had in Jon Rahm at the beginning of the year. Certainly not after the first 2 months of the year. I picked Jon Rahm to win the tournament on January 1. We had to do picks for CBSSports.com, and I said Jon Rahm's going to win the Masters. I don't still feel that, even though he's won 3 times since then, just because of how he's played over the last month. I've got some real concerns, not about Jon Rahm's long-term prospects or even about how he's going to play for the rest of 2023. I just don't think he brings a ton of good form over the last month into this year's Masters.
All right, so I take that your pick has changed from January 1st until now. We'll get to that pick in just a little bit. Let's start, though, with a wager you'd suggest making right now.
Yeah, the one that I really like, there's several that you could throw in here. Jason Day's been a hot pick. Corey Connor's been a hot pick. I really like Cam Young to finish in the top 20. He is somebody that obviously made the finals of match play against Sam Burns where he lost. That's a plus 115 bet for him to finish in the top 20 right now. Listen, 9 of the last 11 Masters winners, Russ, came into the Masters where the 3 months prior, so January, February, March, they were at 1.7 strokes gained, tee to green, or better. So that's basically who the best players are if you don't include putting. The only 2 outliers there, the only 2 guys that were not at 1.7 or better were Hideki Matsuyama in 2021, Patrick Reed in 2018. Cam Young is in that group. It's a pretty small group. It includes Scottie Scheffler. It includes Jon Rahm. It includes Rory McIlroy, Collin Morikawa, players like that. And Cam Young's in it. And I don't know that people know his name. He's not a household name. He hasn't won yet on the PGA Tour. But he's a big-time talent, and he's somebody that finished in the top 5 in 2 major championships last year, including the Open, including the PGA Championship. And he's going to contend at the Masters in the future. And my bet is that it's going to be at some point over the course of the 2023 Masters this year.
Cam Young to finish in the top 20, got that. Who's a player in the field that might be considered a surprise if you go by the odds, maybe not if you consider how they're playing or how they play, though?
Yeah, this is a little bit. This is a household name, but I think the odds kind of tell a different story. Collin Morikawa is 25-1 to win this golf tournament, and the reason I like that, Russ, is sort of the reason that I mentioned earlier. He's in that category of players that's 1.7 strokes gained tee to green or better over the first 3 months. He's had a really weird year. He should have won Kapalua. He didn't. Jon Rahm beat him at the end. He kind of fell apart a little bit there. He's had a number of top 5 finishes, but he's also missed some cuts. So it's a little bit, I don't know if it looks great on paper because he doesn't have a win and he's missed some cuts at places like Phoenix that he probably shouldn't miss the cut at. But for my purposes, for, hey, who's hitting the ball the best and does that translate to Augusta National? I think Collin Morikawa comes in kind of flying underneath the radar. I mean, under the radar. I don't think underneath the radar is a term, but he's a 2-time major winner at 25-1 who's hitting the ball like one of the top 6 players in the world. I don't know what I'm missing there, but I don't think he should be 25-1 right now.
Seems pretty sensible. All right, here's the big one. Who do you have winning the whole thing this weekend?
Yeah, pretty chalky for me, and there's a reason for that. I've got Scottie Scheffler winning, and the reason for that, Russ, is last year, same time, he comes in with 3 PGA Tour championships under his belt. He won Phoenix Open, he won Bay Hill, and he won the match play last year. And then he won the Masters, obviously, by 3 over Rory. He comes in, Russ, over the first 3 months this year, 2 strokes per tournament better than he was at this time last year. That's a big improvement when we're talking about kind of small margins at this level. So he's been 2 strokes per tournament better in 2023 than he was in 2022 when he won 3 times and won the Masters. He's won again this year. He won Phoenix. He won the Players. He's been excellent again. I just think it's gotten a little bit normalized because we have kind of learned over the last year that Scottie Scheffler is a #1 type player in the world. And that's where he's living at, but he's actually gotten quite a bit better from this time last year. And even though he's, I think, 5-1, 6-1, whatever he ended up at or is at right now, I still don't hate it because of how good he's playing at the highest level.
Last player to win back-to-back Masters, could that be Tiger in 01, 02? That's a long time ago at this point, but you know what? It could happen. Scottie Scheffler's playing some great golf. That is CBS Sports golf writer and the host of the First Cut podcast. That's Kyle Porter. Kyle, thank you so much. And the green jacket, it's on the line. Game's best are in Augusta National for the 2023 Masters Tournament.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.